Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Well, just turned noon, 8 seconds ago, so I guess it's good afternoon. It's Monday the 20th of April, 2020. And listen, over the years, a lot of the stuff that I've forecasted, so much of the things that I've forecasted have come true just in the last few months, ever since this disease broke out, that it's unreal. I can't even go on to list them all. But I've been trying to stay on top of this ever progressing disease, and I put forth a number of theories about what this disease might be doing, and I've got some really good supporting evidence today for one of my theories that I've proposed in the last couple shows that I did. Let's start the chart right here. Okay, and this is really something because it really emphasizes that it might be true what I've been saying in my theories that I said about the asymptomatic carriers of this disease. Now, picture, if you will, asymptomatic carriers, don't know they have the disease, but are able to spread the disease. And they're spreading it, and they're creating more asymptomatic carriers. My theory proposes like this: that if you catch it off of an asymptomatic person, then you yourself will become asymptomatic, and the disease will continue to spread that way until it finds a weak person, a person who has a poor immune system, or a person who has underlying diseases, or maybe is old or whatever, and then the disease manifests itself as a symptomatic person. And so this would support that theory very strongly. This article about a shocking report shows that half of the homeless at a Boston shelter tested positive for COVID-19 and none had symptoms. This is, I guess, the first experiment they did. They called it an experiment with a random mass testing of COVID-19. It says it may have made some pretty amazing discovery here. Amazing, and they say depressing, but I don't say depressing, and the reason why is because it means we might be an awful lot closer to herd immunity than we could ever imagine. And what herd immunity basically means is when you start to hit around 60% of the general population has already had the disease, then the disease starts to disappear, and it can disappear rather quickly once it passes that 60% mark, 60 to 70%. Now, what they're saying here is because of this study that the coronavirus penetration in the country could be 50 to 80% higher than what has been recorded. Because this study that they did here with these homeless people, they found that none of them had symptoms, but out of the 397 people tested, 146 tested positive. And not one single one of them had any symptoms. This would be very strong supporting evidence that asymptomatic people are passing it on to and the people they pass it on to are becoming asymptomatic as well. Maybe they'll have some little symptom. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they do. The asymptomatics do have symptoms, but the symptoms are so faint, so minor, that they go unnoticed. Maybe a slight headache, maybe a little bit of myalgia, maybe a little bit of chronic fatigue, but it's very faint, just a small amount. And maybe some have very minor symptoms, like are they really going to notice if you have a half a degree over your normal body temperature? Especially when an awful lot of people out there run cool. People don't all run the same temperature. And a lot of people don't know this, but body temperature can fluctuate. And an awful lot of people run a half a degree cool. Well, the doctor would test them if they run a half a degree warmer than normal, and they'd test perfect. Things like that. So I'm suspecting, very much suspecting, that this COVID, if you do, now, this is new information I'm going to put here right now. And it's another theory about this disease that I have. I very much suspect that even if you're asymptomatic with this disease, that there is some underlying symptoms that are very small, And I'm also predicting that those people are going to take longer for their immune system to build up antibodies against the disease. I think when the disease strikes quicker and it becomes symptomatic, that the immune response in the body would build antibodies faster. And what this could actually lead to is, especially if these people that have it that don't know they have it, asymptomatic people, develop long-term symptoms like possibly chronic fatigue over possibly quite a long period of time. We haven't had time to really study this disease yet. In the future, we might see that these people that have it take 6 months or a year to get over it with a long case of chronic fatigue. Now, if you guys don't know what chronic fatigue is, also myalgia, chronic fatigue makes a person feel like they don't have any energy. Makes them feel like they can't even get out of bed. You know, there's nothing mechanically wrong with their body. A doctor can check them over, and all their organs are functioning fine. Everything's working fine. They do CT scans on them and everything. Nothing wrong with that individual, but they have no energy. They go home and they get in bed. They don't even have enough energy to get up and make their breakfast. We could see something like that coming from this. And, you know, this is also a very strong indicator, to me at least, that this disease is much, much more contagious than they could ever imagine. And so what it could do is, if it's going to make a tremendous amount of asymptomatic people in the United States and everywhere on Earth, some of these people are going to get over it quicker. They have stronger immune systems. Some people, it might linger on for a long period of time. This is going to add to the problems in the economy, you know, and in a big way. Now let's take a look and get into the markets today, and let's take a look at silver today. $15.32. It's up 13 cents on the day, which is good. And, you know, it's amazing how silver spot price is staying down when we're having a shortage of supply. You know, the mints, the Canadian mint here in Canada is only at half production right now. And the American mint, from what I understand, Eagles and stuff are not coming off the assembly line at all. We're seeing awfully high premiums, like per ounce premiums, like even on the larger 1,000-ounce bars, it's like $4 or $5 a premium. We're looking at 100-ounce bars of silver. You're looking at a premium of like $5 or more, you know, and it's just getting out of control, the premiums, and that's because they're going through a period now where silver's flying out the door. People are buying it, and there's no inventory coming back in. And I think what's coming up very soon is an actual shortage where you can't get any. You can't buy any physical. So what's their answer to all of this? Buy the SLV, they're telling everybody. You know, that's just going to make it all the more worse. More people are going to own SLV and not have the underlying asset, you know, that SLV is supposed to be priced with. It's just a mess what's going on right now, and I can only see it getting worse as this disease progresses. So $15.33 for silver today. Let's check gold. $16.97 today for gold. It's up $11.20. I don't know why it ever fell down below $17 to begin with. It should have been staying up there over $1,700. Let's take a look at crypto today. In the crypto world, we're looking at a Bitcoin at $204 billion for the industry. 204.7. Let me refresh the page. Yeah, it's still 204.7. 63.4% Bitcoin dominance with a Bitcoin price of $7,081 today. Dow Jones Industrial Average today. It's down 189 points. or 0.78% on the day. Well, 204 points down. 24,038. And they're telling people out there that to buy into the Dow. They're saying that this is going to be a great time to buy the Dow, you know. Personally, I don't think so. I think that this is a great time to buy into silver. I think silver is a great, I mean, not financial advice, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, but real physical silver. Take a second look at it. Check into the fundamentals on it. Right now it's a hard place to know where to put your money, but I think that this is got an awful lot of good fundamentals. If you want to check into the fundamentals on silver, you're going to find it has really good fundamentals behind it. Now we're going to see something really bizarre. $11.06 for crude oil. It's down $7.21 on the day. It's lost around 40% of its market value in one day. This is an indicator of how big the crash is we're in right now, of the entire world economy. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I have to laugh at it. But this could be horrendous. This is an indicator. If this is an indicator, this is absolutely horrendous what's happening right now in real time. It's off the charts unbelievable. And there could be some huge ramifications coming up very soon. And I know things are staying held together right now. An awful lot of what's holding the world together right now is support from the governments. They're sending everybody checks, but that can't last forever. And this is a more powerful depression than the Great Depression. What's happening right now is more powerful than the Great Depression of the 1930s. And the effects are going to be felt from this big time. But the world's not the same world. The world was much more resilient back then than it is now. Plus, we got something with about 5 times the energy to it than the Great Depression. You can't even compare this to what happened in 2008. This is of so many magnitudes greater and bigger than what happened in 2008. You can't even compare it. The only thing you can compare it to is the Great Depression, and it's got more magnitude, more strength, more power than what the Great Depression had. But we haven't really fully felt the effects of it because it's happened so fast that the momentum from what we had is carrying us along right now to a certain degree. And so we haven't felt the full effects of it yet. Let's take a look now at U.S. Treasuries. They're all falling. All the yields are falling all the way across the board. 30 years at 1.23 and the U.S. 10 years at 1.61. They both fell about 4 basis points respectively. So now let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index, and it's at 99.77 and going along sideways. Listen, folks, thank you for tuning into my show. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the very next video. Bye-bye.